So, I'm going to handle this article very delicately. It's a free speech issue, though. So, basically, the UK Board of Jews. So, here, like, you've got the UK Board of Jews. Here, the Scottish Council of Jews are the ones that came after me for the Nazi pug thing. Well, there's a UK Board of Jews, and a lot of the UK Board of Jews have just got into a lot of trouble for criticising Israel. Let's get into the article. Board launches investigation into 36 deputies following FT letter, Financial Times. All of the signatories are now subject to a complaints procedure, while a member of the board's executive committee has also been suspended. The 36 deputies who signed a letter in the Financial Times condemning the actions of Israel in Gaza are now facing an investigation by the Board of Deputies. Now, last I checked, it was called, the Board of Jews for the United Kingdom. I don't remember it being called the Board of Israel. I just wanted to throw that out there. A statement from the board this morning announced that all of the signatories are now subject to a complaints procedure, while some senior members of the organisation have been suspended. They include the vice chair of the board's board's international division, who has been suspended pending the investigation into complaints regarding the letter, which was published last Wednesday and has sparked a communal row. The board's executive committee reached a unanimous decision to temporarily suspend Harriet Goldenberg from her role as vice chair, and she was also asked to step back from her role on the executive until the result of the investigation. Friendly fire, aren't they? Anyway, similarly, under 35's representative Nat Coonan has voluntarily stepped back from his role on the executive and his position as chair of the under 35 assembly during the investigation. A further deputy is also subject to a complaints procedure for an alleged GDPR breach in connection with the letter. The board's code for conduct states that deputies must not bring the board into disrepute by their actions or activities, nor must they represent their own views as the views of the board to third parties. It also states that deputies must respect the confidentiality and privacy of all information as it pertains to individuals, including a list of deputies. Now, I think the data breaches, see if they signed their own name to be listed on the letter, then I think that's fine. If they were signing other people's information, then that's a little bit of an issue. Right, GDPR sort of covers like your own information. You can do whatever the hell you want with. If you want to post it online, you want to print it on a billboard, that's up to you. But as soon as you do it for other people when you were entrusted to safeguard that information, then that would be a breach of the Data Protection Act. Right, but so people signing their own name onto a letter, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's just you clutching at straws to find something to get them in trouble over. According to the Code of Conduct, if the panel upholds a complaint, it will have the authority to request an apology, issue a prohibition from speaking at meetings, or issue a notice of criticism to a deputy's constituency. In some cases, the executive can remove the deputy from the board. While the investigation, which is expected to take at least 4 weeks, continues, the deputies are allowed to attend meetings, but it is hoped that the investigation will have concluded by the next board plenary meeting on May 25th. So basically, and like I said, it was I'll save it for the end. Save it for the end. Board President Phil Rosenberg said, "We take alleged breaches of the Code of Conduct very seriously. I am grateful to the Constitution Committee for the speed with which they have reviewed the initial complaints, and it is right that they are now given the time and space to review the cases with due process and impartiality. The Board of Deputies is clear. Only our democratically elected honorary officers and authorised staff speak on behalf of the organisation. It comes amid concern at the board about a split in the community on Israel and Gaza, with a divide between Orthodox and progressive synagogues. Most of the 36 signatories of the FT letter belong to Reform, Liberal, or Masorti communities, and none belong to the United Synagogue, the largest communal denomination." Even the Jews have got problems with liberals. Last Thursday, 90 leaders from the US met Rosenberg for an emergency meeting and urged him to proceed with disciplinary action against the 36 signatories. From the United States. That's fascinating, that, isn't it? Okay. So, last I checked, it was the Board of Jews for the United Kingdom. Right, or just the Board of Jews, the Jewish Council, or whatever. I didn't see it was called the Israeli Council. Right, now, I really, really do not like organizations, unless it's a political party. See if it's a political organization where the entire point of the thing is to spew opinions, and then you have opinions that go against it. It's like, for example, if I wanted to join the Communist Party and up here went, yeah, I'm totally up for joining the Communist Party. I don't believe in seizing the means of reproduction, no. Then the Communist Party's every right to go, well, no, no, you can't join then because my opinions don't share the same thing. Now, Judaism obviously is a religion, and like many religions, there's many different differing opinions. You know, there's that old saying where they say put two Jews in a room and you'll get three different opinions. But basically, it's the Jewish board. It's not the Israeli board. And from the Jews that I've talked to, a lot of them have very differing opinions about Israel, right? So you're going to get a little bit of a mix in there. So when you've got these people that go, okay, we kind of don't agree with what Israel is doing, we kind of want to talk about it, and then you're punishing them for it, then that's not cool because it's meant to be the board of Jews, and at the end of the day, the people that signed that letter, they're Jews, they're still Jews, right? They just have a differing opinion on Israel, right? And basically, they're now being punished for it. So I'm going to have to defend their freedom of speech, right? Going to have to come in and defend them. However, it does seem a little bit like friendly fire.